Hey there, church. Welcome to the pastor's letter today. And today we are looking at 1 Samuel chapter 14. And this is a passage that I didn't preach on Sunday. I preached from 14 Sunday, but I didn't get down into 18 and 19, and that'll be our focus today in the pastor's letter. So we've been away for a couple of weeks. Denise and I had COVID, and we got the premium package. And we're still kind of recovering from it. The energy level, it's just drained our energy, and that's been a treat, yeah. So, but one of the things I wanted to share with you about my experience with COVID was I have kept on my bookshelf for many years this little book, The Afflicted Man's Companion, and I decided while I was afflicted that I would read it. Now, I've read parts of it, and I've recommended it to people and even given it away to folks. But I sat down and I read through this book, and I highly recommend it. If you know anyone who is suffering, it doesn't have to be just from COVID, any kind of illness, they're coming to the end of life, and they like to read, hand them this book and tell them to read. It's excellent. This by a fellow by the name of John Willison, one of my favorite authors. He's quite prolific. You can find that online. So just go online and Google The Afflicted Man's Companion. I'm sure you'll find someone who sells it. It's an old book, and it's only sold in paperback now, and so you'll have to do a little search to get it, but it's a good one. Anyway, he addresses things like, so there's affliction in your life. What rod is God using to bring you around? What's he trying to correct? What rough area is he trying to smooth out? Another thing he does that I thought was really good is he asks us, John Willison that is in the book, asks, if you're dying, then rejoice and, seek the Lord in the way that you should when you die. And he begins to tell all those different ways to seek the Lord. It's really a good book. Whether you're sick or not, I would recommend it. But while you're sick, it's a good book to read. It prompted me to pray in some different ways. So I would recommend The Afflicted Man's Companion. Let me show you the cover one more time. Really a good book. So today we're going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 14 and verses 18 through 19. So the watchers in verse 16 and then again in verse 17, they tell Saul something's happening. Now we know what happened. Jonathan went up to the garrison of the Philistines and he fought. And the Lord delivered those 20 men into his hand. But that was the spark that began something miraculous. There was a trembling in the host amongst the spoilers, in the garrison, in the field, and the very earth shook. So everybody felt it. So there was this great trembling, this fear, this overwhelming sense that the tide had immediately turned. And the watchers, the people that are looking down at the camp from the Israelite side, they said to Saul, the people are melting away. And so Saul goes to Ahiah, and he says, bring the ark of God. Now, we've seen this kind of foolishness before, especially when they took the ark into battle. The ark didn't have any place going into battle. You remember, that's been a while back now, but you remember that I told you that this is nothing more than just creating some sort of a good luck charm. That's all the ark was to them when they took it into battle. It gave them good luck. The God had gone into battle with them. God doesn't need an ark to go into battle with the Israelites. You don't need a lucky charm to take with you that you think imbues you with some sort of ability or power or luck or providence or whatever. God's not in that. He's not in those little tokens that we create. And, oh my goodness, do we create them? So here, Saul calls for the ark. Well, okay, just on the face of it, that's foolish, but notice that he does it only after the Philistines are melting away. Only after Jonathan has done his job, only after he's exercised his faith. See, Saul's been sitting under a pomegranate tree. Now he decides that he needs to call on the Lord, and he says, bring the ark. And he's going to call on the Lord and ask the Lord what to do. Should have done that before, King. He should have done that before. See, now it's too late. Now it's too late. He says to Ahiah, bring the ark of God, for it was with the Israelites. And Saul spoke to the priests. The panic in the Philistine camp increased in intensity. So Saul said to the priest, stop what you're doing. So he didn't have time now to pray. He had to run down and join the battle. It was too late. How come the king couldn't have prayed while he was sitting under that pomegranate tree? Oh, no. He's too relaxed. He's too busy. He's too worried. He's too fretting. You know, it's just too much. He can't pray then. But he wants to pray now when he sees that the Lord is working. But then he tells the priest, just don't worry about it. We're going to go down and join the Lord in the work. So Saul is under the pomegranate tree. Jonathan is exercising his faith because Jonathan says to his armor bearer, he said, the Lord is not restrained to save by many or by few, and he'll work for us. How come Saul couldn't have said that? But now he wants to pray. Oh, bring the ark. He gets the priest and the ark, and he's going to pray. He's going to make a big show. It's too late, Saul. It's too late. Is it ever too late for us? Oh, sure. Yeah, sometimes we put our pleasure before we put our prayer time, don't we? Sometimes we want to sit under that pomegranate tree before we sit under the shade and the awning of prayer. So be careful. Be careful when you put the wrong thing first. Always put prayer first. Prayer has to be first. It has to be number one. Saul didn't do that. And so Saul missed out on an opportunity. Again, he missed out on another Gideon moment to take those 600 men and to march into the camp of the Philistines and to rout the army. His son understood how that worked. His son did it. You know, Jonathan took his armor bearer, just two guys, and they walked into that garrison and they defeated 20 men because they believed that the Lord was on their side, because he was. While at the same time, his father, the king, is relaxing under a pomegranate tree. Oh, we just love to do that, don't we? We like to Netflix and chill. We like to sit under our pomegranate tree. Instead of praying, we're enjoying our pleasures. Just like Belshazzar's feast. Too late when the handwriting's on the wall. Too late. Too late to pray. So Saul missed his chance. And so, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we can miss our chance too if we don't pray. We don't know, do we, when our time is going to come. And perhaps we're thinking, well, you know, I'll pray and ask the Lord into my heart whenever I'm on my deathbed. Well, you don't have any guarantee that you're going to be conscious on your deathbed or even alive before you die. You know, that sometimes death comes instantaneously. We don't have a moment. There's no vestibule between health and death. Sometimes there is, but you never know. Sometimes we spend all of our time in our pleasures and our pursuits and our want-tos and our need-tos and our fretting and our anger and our worry and all the rest instead of in prayer. Saul could have been praying. And you know what? If he had, the Lord would have told him what to do. The Lord would have given him the faith to do the next thing, but he didn't. He decided that pomegranate tree was the place he needed to be until it wasn't. And then it was too late. Don't be too late. Pray. Pray today. Pray right now. Pray and ask the Lord to save your soul. Pray and ask the Lord to do a work. Pray and ask the Lord to correct those things that are missing. Pray and ask the Lord to give you strength against that bosom sin that keeps tripping you up. Pray. Seek the Lord right now today. I invite you to join me in prayer. Let's ask the Lord what the next step is. All right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this. Check out 1 Samuel chapter 14, verses 18 and 19, and the rest of the chapter, and see how the Lord delivers Israel. I love you guys. See you soon.